But when those shadow lenders went away, the banks were stuck with the limits of their original capital, so that froze up credit. Well, in North Dakota, the Bank of North Dakota serves as the it partners with those banks, and it takes the loans off their books, making room for more and more. So generally, the community banks, the local banks, are dealing directly with the customers, and then the Bank of North Dakota backstops those banks, rather like the Federal Reserve does. It's sort of like the mini Fed for the state.
Yeah, it's the insurance policy, but not just the Bank of North Dakota. We see local state banks that are private being much more healthy than the big mega banks that created these derivatives. And under the new bank re-regulation legislation, actually written by Goldman Sachs and others, it allows them to come in and take over the healthy state or regional banks.
Right.
So we see a major consolidation taking place here.
Right. So that if you have a state bank, it can help those struggling little banks that are struggling with. Now they're talking about raising the capital requirement. They're making it even more difficult for the little local banks, and so the state bank can help with that. One major advantage is that all the interest goes back to the state. So in North Dakota, it's actually a big moneymaker for the state. They get a big dividend every year, so that reduces the amount of taxes that people have to pay. But plus, it's got a mission statement that is geared toward helping the state. So where a private bank, like any corporation, has to serve its shareholders. So if Goldman Sachs can make more money speculating in derivatives than in making commercial loans to businesses that might go bankrupt, they have to speculate. That's what their business model is. They have to serve their private shareholders.
And they have lobbyists at the state level getting the state to invest tax money in their system, giving them more power. Stay there. Let's come back and talk about how we roll this out in other states, and if you're starting to see this being discussed in other states.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
You may be arrested and or subject to other police action.
Tyranny is here. The grim future foretold in 1984 has become reality.
It really says that the state is God.
The United States is now recognized globally as one of the most oppressive police states on earth. This film conclusively proves the existence of a secret network of FEMA camps, now being expanded nationwide. This documentary exposes how the continuity of government program has established an all-powerful shadow state. Police State 4 chronicles the sickening depths to which our republic has fallen. Prepare to enter the secretive world of emergency dictatorship. Body scanners, sound cannons, citizen spies, stage terror, and cameras on every street corner. It's only the beginning of the New World Order's hellish plan. The police state isn't coming. It's here. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or see it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
When you're out on the road, the last place you want to be is on the road. But if the unfortunate happens, you'll be glad you were wearing diamond gussets.
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They so pride in every stitch, guarantee you'll love the way they fit. They put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue diamond gussets got it, others don't.
We turn jeans inside out. Diamond gusset jeans, made in the USA with unparalleled quality. Our Defender motorcycle jeans combine gusset comfort with Kevlar protection, so you can ride all day with confidence. Order yours at gusset.com. Diamond gusset jeans got it, others don't.
Meltdowns, massive unemployment, endless wars, a new currency crisis, financially and morally bankrupt. A great and terrible storm is approaching. So what's the best way to get ready, to get prepared for hard times ahead? Introducing Off the Grid News, a weekly newsletter for independent patriots who want practical advice on how to survive and prosper in an increasingly dangerous world. It's the best way to get a black belt in emergency preparedness, survival skills, and off-the-grid living. Off the Grid News is fiercely independent. all about self-reliance and packed with helpful information on survival gardening, food preparation, alternative energy, herbal medicines, privacy and security, as well as God, gold, and guns, with absolutely no apologies. And the best part, this $100 a year service is now free of charge for our listeners. That's right, free for our listeners who sign up at offthegridnews.com. That's offthegridnews.com. You can sign up free at offthegridnews.com. offthegridnews.com.
Cause we've been trotting on the wine press much too long.
We're going back to Ellen Brown here in just a moment. I wanted to run over some news headlines here. Congressman Poe speaks out as another Mexican helicopter invades U.S., and this is directly from the House of Representatives website. We have a flashback article. While government treats citizens as terrorists, Mexican military invades U.S. It is getting crazy right now. Immigrant crossings into Arizona on the rise as it's being announced in Spanish media that it's a mission to invade the United States and turn it into Mexico. American school kids aren't allowed to wear American flags. Agenda 21 alert, immigration theater, key article by Cassandra Anderson up at Infowars.com, breaking down how this is really about bringing in a North American Union. Continuing, anarchist group claims Ottawa bank firebombing. Very serious news on that front. Ottawa police investigating Royal Bank firebombing. Obama tells Mexican president, quote, "We are not defined by our borders." More treasonous, treacherous statements. BP and Coast Guard threatened to arrest journalists for covering oil-polluted shoreline in Louisiana. They did that to CBS News. Talk about arrogance. I already mentioned this, but woman's home confiscated over small water bill. Says Valentine lost her two-story brick home after the city sold her debt to investors for $362 through a continuous and Byzantine legal process called tax sale. A little-known type of foreclosure can enrich investors as growing numbers of property owners struggle to pay their bills. They're taking people's houses now, folks, for $300, okay? This country is just in flames. Meanwhile, dictator of failed state Calderon lectures Americans about freedom, calls for an end to the Second Amendment. And when he addressed Congress today, this is Twilight Zone, what's happening. But that's what happens with corruption. Once it gets to a certain point, it just drops off the edge of the earth. It just plunges into pure evil. Bangkok in flames after Army storms protest camp, AP. Bangkok under curfew after fresh anti-government violence. Greek strikers march on Parliament, protesting against losing their pension funds and 401ks. Oh, yeah, the government's... In fact, I have an article today where they're saying they're getting ready to take U.S. pension funds out of the Financial Times of London. Just incredible. And again, Obama's pushing for total amnesty, total legalization. The list just goes on and on and on of what is happening in this nation and how things are just deteriorating so quickly as the lawless criminals at every level of government just have open season on our republic. Here's another one out of the Denver Post. Douglas County votes to charge fees for school bus rides. Then you read what it's for, a $2 million program to make the kids have biometric ID cards they swipe and to GPS the school buses. So there's no money for the roads and the sidewalks, but there's money for these security companies to set up this prison grid. Here's another key article. Feds move to throw pot smokers in prison for impaired driving. Kurt Nimmo, Infowars.com. And it actually has a link to the National Drug Policy Strategy saying that they're going to have warrantless blood checkpoints. You've heard about those. And that they can find marijuana for up to 100 days, generally just 30. And of any cannabis that over 80% of the public reportedly smokes from time to time, I guess I'm part of the 20% that rarely smokes pot. I smoked it here and there. Don't really like it. But the issue is, it doesn't matter. They're just going to take your blood. You've got all these universities saying, got to give us DNA to get into the university. It's just so incredible that now they're going to take your blood at checkpoints or a cheek swab, and if they find THC, prison time. Prison time. So you smoked pot 100 days ago, doesn't matter, you're going to prison. Here's one. U.S. states Pension funds becoming federal issue. It talks about state pension funds going bankrupt because they invested them in derivatives. Don't worry, the feds are going to take it over and only give you part of your money back. Folks, it's happened everywhere else, and it's happening here. People better get their priorities straight. Going back to Ellen Brown, the website's webofdebt.com. She's got a great book out on the subject of the Federal Reserve. But then another important article, cash-strapped states need to play the banking game. North Dakota